evening. I hope this sound is good because as is tradition, I've messed around with it again. Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Let me move my chat around a little bit so I can read you better. Hi. Hello. Audio's good. Alright. Thank you for telling me. I have been fiddling with the equalizer and compressor and everything, just so you don't have to hear my computer struggling. Hi, I just started. What's with all the sweat? I only just started. It's been a while, I know. It's been how many months since my last ASMR stream? Like, too many. Hi, just a little warm. Oh. And here I was about to light a candle. Add some extra warmth. Just a global heat wave, yeah. They happen more often lately. It's how things are. Too much compression is not good, because it filters out all the good stuff. But I'm trying to be very mindful of my syllabus. Syllabus? One of them is school related. Is this the one with ear licking? No, that one is almost ready to be released into the world. But if you want, I can give you a small sample of what it might be like if you're good. Yeah, you probably should turn off the volume. You probably should. You need more of my wood now? As far as I know, I have only one. Or maybe that's not what it means. I'm not sure. I mean, just because it's big doesn't mean that they're plural. Anyway, I'm happy everyone's good. I'm also good. I had a pretty relaxing Saturday. Just singing and shopping. And you know what girls do on the weekend. We just chill. Hello, welcome. What'd I buy? I'm just trying to get a wardrobe ready for next month. Something that is kind of breezy enough, but not too revealing. That makes sense. I'm not sure how warm it'll be. No illegal experiments. No, I don't do that. I think. Unless what I've done so far is technically illegal. Don't think so. It's all for personal gain after all. I have shopped until I dropped. I was home very late. But I'm happy to be here. Oh, and if my talking is a bit too loud, just let me know. I'll try to whisper a little more. Linen, yeah, that's my wardrobe pretty much. It's not illegal if you don't get caught. That's what they all say. I don't wanna go to jail for shopping until I dropped. Oh, I see some subs. I have sound off for obvious reasons. I'm also not wearing a headset, so I have to pay extra good attention. But let me scroll back a little, because I see here Mrs. Kyoho has resubbed. Thank you very much, Mariko. Thank you. Thank you, Mariko. Mwah. Mwah. Thank you also to Marcus for subscribing again. Thank you. Mwah. Mwah. And Scadabush. Mwah. Mwah. Two more. Knight Ornstein, thank you as well for subscribing. Mwah. Mwah. And Frashon, thank you very much for subscribing. Mwah. Mwah. And Bummed, thank you as well for subscribing. Mwah. Mwah. that's not too loud. I am really unused to the distance I should take. I mean, the ear licking ASMR required me to be quite in there, so it's different. Anyway, I see a pygmy just cannot wait for me to pet tribe. So it's been redeemed twice already. Oh, I also forgot to change the category. Let me put it to ASMR. ASMR. Done. So let me pet the very first Shib. I'll put him next to the ear. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. You can just imagine it's you. Everyone here is a Shib. I'll give him extra big hugs. I'll keep doing it when it gets redeemed. Don't worry. I'm doing ASMR, yeah. I hope it'll be good. I have also something I found at the store. It's called popping candy. And I have always wanted to try it, but I always had trouble finding it. So today I got lucky. Yeah, the pop rocks, except they're the discount version. Because we don't have pop rocks here, I think. Also, welcome to Decade and Grey FM. Welcome. Thank you for the follows. Welcome. Hello, Ivan. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. I have a lot of stuff today. I also wanted to sing a little bit. I just have to. I kind of ran out of time, so I don't have anything like a list or something. But I'll get to it. I'll get to it. I'll start with my little triggers here, because I have a bunch. I have, of course, the pop rocks. I have some body scrub. I have some cloths, some sprays, a candle, which I will light in a moment. I have apparently also Google. Very smooth, vtuber. Very, very smooth. If I were Google, I'd be very rich. And I would buy a yacht so I can sail away. What else do you do on a yacht? I'm not sure. I like the experience. But yeah, life would be easier. Let's see, I have a brush, I have hairbrush and makeup brushes. I have some sticky notes, scissor, markers, gaming pad. I have some skincare stuff, some drops of oil, book, makeup, like lipstick and stuff. I don't wear it much anymore, only to the office. And that's it. I go natural nowadays a lot. And it's okay. I kind of feel happier that way. That's kind of how it feels. Let's see, what should I start with? Oh yeah, candle. This one I was gifted by Freya. She knows exactly what I like. It's the one from Woodwick, so it has a nice a nice little, what do we call this? The wooden part. A wick, I think. Yeah, I think it's a wick. It's the one that has a nice crackle. Alright, Eve, I think I am loaded on one-liners for the rest of the year, thank you. Now I have a reservoir. The whole book has been used, yeah. That's okay. Let's see. The smell is rosewood, or in French, bois de rose. Bois de rose. Rosewood. It smells really nice. I would love to have you smell it, but it's a little difficult. I may grab my matches and simultaneously pray that my fire alarm does not go off. You just never know about these things, right? Yeah, Otona, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you. Mwah. Mwah. Thank you. Tier 3 even, thank you so much. See. I see another pit shy, but I'll clear the queue besides that one so I see it. I have here my matches, which apparently are Swedish. Säkerhetständstickor. That sounds like something you do with your teeth. Oh, it's the swallow, the bird. But I always thought the German word for swallow was a swear. I always thought that was a naughty word. Yeah, Schwalbe. I thought that was a naughty word. It is swallow, yes. But I thought it meant something, well, closer to the Dutch one. Oh, it's a football term, maybe that's why. I do live close to the border after all. I am not quite the expert on German, unfortunately. I had it in school for 5 years, I think. And the results are disappointing, to say the least. Can you hear it? It is. Let me light the candle. Oh, it went out. Looks like I have to do another one. I'll pick your other ear. Oh. There we go. Oh, these are not very good quality. charm is the charm. There we go. That sounded much more promising. Oh, this one worked. Here's the candle. Can you hear it? I'll put it a little further away so you don't have to hear it too much. Memories of Grandma, yeah. For me too, she had a fireplace. Back on the farm. I'll put this one in the corner for us. There. Now they'll be with us for a while. Hi. Welcome home, Imoto. Hello. Alright. I'll get to Shibe again. Good boy. You've been good. Good boy. Good boy. He's so squishable. He's so squishable. Alright. Let's see. What should I do next? I hope it's comfy. Just give me some time to get into it. To learn what works, what's good. And don't be afraid to tell me if something is too rough. Or the opposite, if it's something you like. Then please tell me. I want tonight to be very relaxing and very pleasant. And something that makes you feel like the next week is going to be easy or better, if you know what I mean. That's my goal for tonight. Just want it to be fun, relaxing, and yeah, just calm. I can give you a lobotomy. Well, it's kind of messy, isn't it? A little messy. Also, I don't have the tools unless you want me to give you a lobotomy using makeup. It's going to probably take a while to get to the source. Richard Bone, thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much. Mwah. Mwah. Thank you. Let's try the body scrub. I use this under the shower. It's the kind that it's kind of like a salt, and you have to just put it all over yourself, and then you wash it off, and you get very soft. And of course, it smells nice. That's the most important part. Is it good? How is it? Do you like it? It smells very good. Very, very flowery. I kinda wanna use it now. It sounds nice. I'm glad to hear. My neighbor is yelling outside on the balcony. I pray that you cannot hear her. Oh, really? Okay, that's the first. Normally you can hear everything. I hope they're not prepping the fireworks. My neighbors have this weird obsession with just using fireworks any time of the year. And so far, they have picked every single one of my ASMR streams to start their little habit. And it makes me want to throw some fireworks through their mailbox. But only in theory, of course. I would never resort to something like that. Of course not. It's expensive. Why would I waste money on such a stupid thing? No, they're nice people. I barely know them, of course, but so far, every time I miss my mail, they took it for me, so that's very kind. Let's see. Finger fluttering. Welcome, Mosmos. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to today's stream. ASMR after not doing this for almost a year, I think. Welcome, Laxon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me grab the shape. Our little guy. Let's see. Next one up is this one. You're a good boy. Little sharp, little sharp. Or in some stores they call him a corgi. They kinda do look similar if you know nothing about dogs, though. At least from like a glance. These plushies are so round, they kinda morph into multiple types. I'm just hugging Shy myself now. That's not part of the routine, but he's so cute. And to think the whole Shipe thing just started as a little joke. Because I wanted to do something funny with my starting screen every time. So I just found a little Shy plushie, P&G on Google. And I just started dressing him up with like costumes. And there was no real reason besides I thought it was cute. And now here we are. Sometimes luck or randomness can kinda lead to something nice. Now he is a marketable and legally distinct marketable plushie, yes. Especially the second part. Legally distinct. Crazy how nature can do that. Just spawns the Shibe into existence and starts to live a life on its own. Yeah. Kinda funny. I'm grateful. He's cute. Let's see. What should be next on our little list? Maybe you guys want to hear my funny little pop rocks. Is that something to lighten the mood with? Welcome, Laxon. Thank you for the follow. Wait, I have the version with a lollipop. The instructions say lick, dip, and flip. Alright. If it's only 3 steps, I think I can do it. Let me get a bit more. There we go. It's not quite out loud yet. Ah, now I have a bunch. I'm trying to keep my mouth open, but it's so sweet it makes me drool. I'll keep busting this one out. It also has a lollipop in the shape of a foot. Is this how it starts for people? I don't know. I'm just wondering. I'll just put this here. There we go. Yeah, it's a lollipop. You have to dip the lolly into the candy so it sticks to it. And then you put it in your mouth and it starts to go crackle. It feels very funny, but I really like the sound. I've always wanted to do that myself, but I couldn't find the candy. And now I did. Now I finally found it. So I might crackle for a little bit while I talk, but I think it's already gone actually. I think so, yeah. Just to be safe, I'll get some water. Just to be safe. Let's see. Maybe we can do a little song. There's one song I always want to hum to myself. I'm glad you enjoy it, Genocide. Also stretch. Let me stretch real quick. There we go. My bones are happy. Welcome, Rodriguez. Welcome. Let's see. Alright. Let's try to get into the mood. Beware, beware, the daughter of the sea. Beware, I heard him cry. His words carried beyond the ocean breeze as he sank beneath the tide. Those blood-soaked ships of Kalimdor, where sailors fought and died. The admiral fell at Evermore because she left his side. I'm not sure the rest is ASMRable, but I can try. I don't think it's ASMRable. But thank you. If you have more songs, let me know. And yeah, Old WoW, I miss it too. Though this is technically not that old WoW. This is Legion, right? That's only a few years ago. I mostly played during the Cataclysm. And those times were different for sure. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope it wasn't too loud. I have to still find the right volume for singing, I think. But I think it was alright. And if it's too silent, I can always raise the volume a little. Because that's also possible, right? It's not loud enough. Let's see. Any other easy, quote-unquote, songs? Let's see. I used to have a whole list, but I seem to have misplaced it for a while now, which is very annoying, but I'll have to make do. Oh yeah, I always liked the one from Jessica Rabbit. Let's see. I think jazz might work. We're gonna give it a shot. It has been quite a minute since the last one, so that's why it's back. Alright, let's see if we can get some jazz. You had plenty of money, 1922. You let out and women make a fool of you. Why don't you do right like some other men too? Get out of here. Get me some money too. You're sitting there wondering what it's all about. You ain't got no money, we will put you out. Why don't you do right like some other men do? Get out of here. Give me some money too. Yeah, this one's a little harder. Welcome, Sir Destroyer. Welcome to the ASMR. Welcome, 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 welcome. I probably should pick some songs that are very low pitch, so I can talk more like that instead of very high up. It's a bit easier, for ASMR purposes at least. Do we have anything that kind of matches that type of vibe? Or do we not? I wonder. I might have something lying around. Let's see. I'm not sure if I could. Type 0 negative, is that a blood type or a song? Fukuro is very high pitched, but I can pitch it down. Let's see. I think this is the one. Oh, it's only in Japanese. I'm gonna pitch it down like an octave. Let's see. Welcome, Shotamone, welcome. You're こそ深い森の奥珍しいお客さんへ悪いけどここから先では森でのマナーがあるのふうふう袋が知らせるふうふう客が好きだとふうふう袋が知らせる何かが始まる予感 Welcome Memories 未来ラウラウ何かみたいのラウラウあなた次第悪いけどここではあなたは招かれざる客なの That one kind of works pitch down, doesn't it? Yeah, I think so. Otherwise it's very high pitched. It's gonna be hard in ASMR style. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is Fukuro, or Owl, by Kokia. I have her CD. I found it at God knows where I found it. It was a very popular CD store in Japan, Tokyo. But the thing is, I asked the staff where did they keep Kokia, and they basically went with me to find it, but they were confused. And I was thinking, there is no way that there is not a single Kokia CD here. So I spent an hour just trying to decipher all the labels, and I actually found one. I was very proud. I was super proud of myself. Yeah, things like that kind of help you motivate yourself to keep studying. And slowly, I feel more confident. Now I just have to fix my pronunciation. That's a different problem. Welcome, Cooper. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Tenseili as well. And Pi is amazing. And Omochilas, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hadn't welcomed you yet. But thank you for joining. I hope you're having a good time already. I think I'll be very content just being able to string together a sentence that is not just literal lines from anime. Welcome, Seven Kami-sama. Welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. I hope I'll get there one day. I think, well, I have the benefit of being a short woman, but if I would say that to people, I think I might get punched in the face. Alright, let's pet some shibes, shall we? Next one is up. Shibe is so cute. Good boy. turn him upside down for some belly scratches. Yeah, stripes of bellies. Very soft. I just pet it. They have white bellies. Very soft and nice. Let's see. Maybe I can do some spray sounds. I just want to kind of switch them up a little bit here and there. You can hear the chorus from California Girls. California girls, they're undescribable, undeniable. Fire, fierce, bikinis, so tight. Bikinis, alright. Bikinis, something bikinis. They sure are something. It's unforgettable. Wait, is this broken? No way. There we go. Oh, okay, thank God. It's my fabric. Freshener? What do you call it? You just spray it on a pillow. Oh, it smells nice. I have not watched the Belle movie yet, but this is a spoiler, but I have been learning a song from there. Which probably would work really well for ASMR, but it's very difficult. Yeah, the soundtrack is, at least the songs I've heard, are really good. I definitely need to watch it. I've been told by friends who have seen it that the movie is not that good, but the songs are. No, this spray is to I think the packaging, let me check. Yeah, it says you just spray it on like pillows or your clothes. It's kind of like I guess a fabric enhancer. You just basically spray it on things you want to smell nice. So you can spray it on your clothes or your pillow before bedtime, or any type of fabric you have that you want to make extra nice. It's not a replacement for laundry, before someone asks. It's just an extra. I had a feeling someone would come up with that. It's not. It's It doesn't, well, it's in Japanese, so I don't quite know what it says, but I know it's for that kind of thing. It's nice. It's a little extra. Mm-hmm. I love what do you think I wrote? Let me write it again. I love ding 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 ding. But I'm not gonna say which one. I love I love. Well, I was cheating because I'm writing my own handwriting, which doesn't have any gaps like this. But I can also write it like this. Yeah, I'm not sure I can say it out loud either. It's a secret. Oh, how is this sound, by the way? It's the sticky notes. Yeah, sticky notes. I was writing on them. At work, we don't quite have like an actual standard spot that you can work at, but I like to move my post-its around to kind of pretend I have a claim to a specific area. So it's either that or whoever wants to use it has to get rid of all of those notepads and all those sticky notes. It's my little way of kind of claiming it a little bit. Yeah, I don't have any desks. It's flexible, which in theory is great, but in practice means everyone's fighting each other. So I do a little bit of office lady territory marking by just leaving some random things around, making it a little bit harder, more annoying to claim my spot. But of course in a way that I can, not get punished for it. Yeah, just some small traps like a mirror, so it looks like it's reflecting something else, so I can hide behind it. Things like that, like a big scroll or a poster. I can just pretend it's not there. No, they have the policy of if you leave it, someone might steal it. And that's the policy. So it's up to your own responsibility. They don't care. Welcome, ATG, welcome. Welcome. Speaking of mice, I also have one here. This is my office mouse. I have my personal one, my razor right here. But this is my office one. This is a very cheap one. The office one is the cheapest they have. In fact, I had to ask for one. It doesn't standard come, like the laptop doesn't come with one standardly. I guess the trackpad is good enough for some people. Sorry, something just came over me. I guess the other person before he got banned also had something come up inside of him. And also geese outside. Now, for all the non-office fans, I bring you something better. Gamer sounds. The sound of another round of MMR approaching. The nice gamer sounds, not the controller flying through screen or my hand slipped and the remote went through it, or the mom took down the Wi-Fi as I was doing a raid boss screams. Sorry, Mike, but girl gamers don't do that. We just only talk about how much we are girl gamers. That's all we're good for. And of course, as a gamer, you gotta accuse everyone of lag switching. Let me recite the entire Wikipedia on every game ever made. Do you have time for 5 years? I don't know if my candle can last that long. I don't know if I can. I stopped playing League because I got too heated. I got way too involved in that game. Way too. I wasn't quite a challenger rank, but I think the highest I got was diamond. Or gold. No, what came after gold? It was diamond, right? Whatever that was, that's what I got. Oh, it's platinum. Right, that one, platinum. I forgot what's diamond then. It's the one after that. I forgot, it's been so long. Fighting games, I actually do enjoy them, but it takes me a while to pick it up properly. I'm not really like a natural. I played against my friend a bit when she was streaming the game. It was kind of fun. Multi-blood. But it kind of hurts my hands to play on the stick. Maybe I also am suffered or cursed with bad wrists. It's a bit of a curse, it seems. I kind of have to check which one it was, but it was one for newbies, for sure. It's all of it, the way my hands have the position on there. I am much better off just gripping around something. It's my preferred position, I suppose. It was the newest one. I also want to do the VN Tsukime. I have it ready to be played. I just have to find time. But yeah, handhold. It happens a lot sometimes when I make the same movement too often. Yeah, I suppose I could just switch back to controller. This one's pretty nice. The Razer Xbox. There's nice clackities, as you can hear. I think it's the original, but did they remake it on Steam? I'm not sure. I have I have a folder in my drive. But that game was fun. I also looked up a whole list of how to watch Fate in best watching order. One Street Fighter with a PlayStation 1? Damn. I like Razer. I mean, I think most of my stuff is Razer. Yeah, don't fix what's not broken, right? Let's see. Oh, it's on the Switch. I see. That's a pretty good choice then. Unfortunately, I don't like buying games for a Switch because they're so expensive. It never goes on sale, and I like sales. That's why I like Steam. That's why I have 1,200 games. I'll play them all one day. One day I'll play them. And then I can die happily. Yes, 1,200. I am personally sponsoring Gaben into a new car. Yeah, it's humble bundle for me to Egowood. I've been a member for as long as it exists, pretty much. At least I think so. Well, not sure how long it exists, actually. Definitely a few years. Was the easiest way to get new stuff to play. Funding his knife collection. Well, a man has to have a hobby, right? Mine is to pet ears like this. That's my hobby right now. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I mean, I can do worse things to them. Much worse. Or better, depending on your perspective. Depends on how you feel about it. I'm not sure. That's up to you. But I'll leave that for last. A little sample of the cringe that you have, well, not forced me to do, but well, it wasn't that bad, actually. You stayed for the oomfies and you stayed for the ouchies. Ah, well, they can both be fun. Hello, Utsuro. Yeah, we're getting comfy tonight. Is Gaben responsible for Team Fortress? Is he into hats? I mean, I understand. I'm also into hats, honestly. I have quite a few of them. He is, right? Yeah, I think Gaben might be into hats as well. I have two sun hats, like really big one, oversized. And I have a few berets. They're cute. I am very happy to announce that I do not own a fedora. I do not have one. Yeah, you can have a normal sized sun hat. They're just slightly bigger than your head, right? They just have a little bit of overlap so the sun stays out of your eyes, but that's it. And I have a massive one, really big. It also gets easily crumpled. No, it's not the typical Dutch hat, I think. What's a typical Dutch hat? No one really wears them. My grandma always wore shawls. That's not quite the same. Let's see. Let's cover your ears for a moment. That's good. Alright, I'll keep doing it. Very slow. Very gently. Very slow and gently. One more time. And there we go. There we go. Feels nice, right? Yeah, I like that one too. This is also one of my favorites. Although, my absolute favorite, I'm not sure if it's popular, but I really like when people have a lipstick and they kind of do this. have one here too. I have a lot of lip gloss. This one doesn't plop as much as I thought it would, but I have more of them, just not here right now. They're in my bathroom. It's also really bad for your makeup to do this. If you introduce air into the little bottles, it dries up. So I use old ones, like almost empty ones. But the best ones are, of course, the new ones. They make the most sound. So you kind of have to sacrifice them a little bit. The things we do for good sounds. Well, it's alright. It's worth it. Some of these triggers I also have in the video, if they are office related at least. The story has to make sense after all. I don't want it to be not immersive. Let's see. I am always both, Blurger. One by choice and one by force. Although it's weekend, so I leave them behind, right? The office part. I don't take work to home. At least I try not to. Well, what I do barely is that anymore at this point. Figma is smart. Yeah, I'm very good at drawing rectangles. I have honed that skill. Not much more than that, though. Nah, I practice daily sit-downs, as we like to call it. No one stands up. This is wood, yes. I don't think Vegeta is part of the workforce. Wow, the thing is, no one turns their camera on, so everyone gets away. I only turn it on when I actually got dressed that morning. And sometimes I'm not wearing enough. So I have to be a bit more, covert. Let's see. Let me pitch shy up real quick. On the belly. He's still enjoying it, I think. Let's see. Maybe it's some time for some pop rocks again. Hi Madara, welcome. I keep jumping when I say pop rocks. Sorry, I don't know what else to call this. A little more. pops used to be very popular in candy, right? At least as a kid, I had it many times. They put in everything. That one scared me even. The pop went too poppy. It's gonna be very loud. Alright, last one. So sweet. It's so insanely sweet. And it's still popping while I talk. It's the funny part. Calippo shots. I just remember it being in some kind of ice cream, yeah. But they kind of vanished. Like when I was like 7 or something, I don't think I ever had them again. Yeah, well, I brush my teeth every evening, of course, so it's not a problem. But I have to do it extra well. I normally don't really eat that many sweets. Let's see, next one is a dropper. I did kind of miss when sweets and stuff were in the shapes of things you liked, like Pokemon or something. I would still honestly buy it even now if I could. I just don't really make it anymore. I guess it's all different stuff now. The Sonic popsicle? I don't know. Dinosaur nuggies. Is that even on the same tier? That's not on the same tier. Although I do kind of like those. My favorite. Oh, always were the funny smiley potato fries. Nintendo shampoo? What? What does your hair even smell like afterwards? Like Miyamoto or something? Oh, you had an apple cider donut shaped like a dinosaur. That's cute. I don't know if I want Italian plumber to be anywhere near me, sorry. Especially not my hair. Imagine you go on a date night or something, and you arrive and your hair smells like Italian plumber. I don't think that's a good first impression, I'll be honest with you. Or it is, who knows? If you're dating Luigi, maybe. Or maybe not. Mario, oh god. Made from 100% real plumber. Let's see. Oh yeah. I'll probably do an actual roleplay of ASMR once I come back from Japan. Like actually on topic. Now it's more Satsudan with some extra steps, but I would kind of want to do such a thing. I have some ideas for it too. It will not be a coma. No, it will be very serious. But it will require some extra time for me, considering how I want to make it. Let's have a little sip. And maybe another song. What will be a good one for ASMR? Of course, this one would work. A classic. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be flows surely to the sea. Darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you, for I can't help falling in love with you. That's cute. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Singing like this is quite fun, but it's hard to estimate how loud am I. So I try to be silent a bit more quiet. Thank you, Kara, for subscribing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Freebird. Do I even know that? But thank you for subscribing, Kara. Mwah. Mwah. In the wee small hours of the morning. Don't think so. Welcome, Burnham Abdullah. Welcome, welcome. I'm thinking, what other songs can I do? Besides, the obvious ones like Moon Song or Killing Me Softly. Quiet's Theme. A speed metal song. To the fire and the flames we carry on. That's all I can think of. I got you covered. Let's see. In the night came the killers with the cross. In the light of the moon when our lives are lost. In the dark when your blood is calling. In the dusk when the fever's crawling. In the night came the killers with the cross. Doesn't quite work, does it? I don't think that works. I mean, it's always worth a try, but let me see. What's something I don't do very often? Oh, this one I don't. What? you were here. Me, oh my countryman, wish you were here. I wish you were here. Don't you know the snow is getting colder? And I miss you like hell, and I'm feeling blue. I've got feelings for you. Do you still feel the same? From the first time I laid my eyes on you, felt joy of living, I saw heaven in your eyes, in your eyes. Welcome. I see Erst. Thank you for subscribing, Erst. Thank you very much. Thank you. Mwah. Mwah. The Cossack lullaby. What does that involve? The only sounds kind of Russian, right? The only Russian song I'm learning right now is Mana do fortis glories. Except one octave higher. Oh, very green. Oh, my bad. Spice and Wolf, that's going to be very hard, considering I cannot make any noise, but I can do the first part. Give that a shot. Also, welcome, Sikri, Leon, and Only Eki. Thank you for the follows. I just cannot get used to you having the DH swapped out. It looks like a bee, so I'm like, it's Pat's song. I'm like, oh, didn't know she had a song. Might just be my eyesight. I am kind of far away from the monitor. Thank you for the sip. Welcome, Menelith. Welcome. I do know one very good song for her. Let's see. Hello, Skyky. Welcome. One of the songs I could do besides Quiet's theme is maybe I can try the Apple song. Seven apples on the witch's tree, with 7 seeds to plant inside of me. In springtime I crew a magic song, and then skipping along I sang this song to everyone. I looked at the world through apple eyes and cut myself a piece of sunshine pie. I dance with the peanut butterflies till time went and told me to say hello but wave a goodbye. 1,000 sugar stars, I'll put them in a jar. Oh, it's all around the world. Oh, it's all around the world. I'm a little wolf inside a girl, you say, and I'll go from June to May. Oh, it's around the world. It's a cute song. It's a very cute song. Sometimes when I'm cooking dinner or something, I like to try the very, very high-pitched part. And I fail like so many times, but it's still fun. Nobody, thank you for gifting. Thank you. Thank you so much. Mwah. Mwah. I appreciate it. Thank you. And welcome, Hate Sid. Welcome to you too. Oh, it replaced it for you. Thank you. That's very sweet. I am currently learning the power of resonance for singing. I already knew about it, but it's very hard, at least for me, to do it consciously. And so far it only happens when I just feel in a good mood. I seem to do it by default. But if I'm not, it's very hard. Resonance, not revengeance. I'm not riding. Basically, when you sing, you don't just use your face, right? If you want to sound really full and bright and at the same time really like, how do you call it? Like dark in color, like deep. You have to resonate every single tone you make within your entire body. You kind of have to see it in speed running terms. You have to build up your speed. And all the notes have to kind of ricochet within your body before you take them out. And you feel that. You can actually feel it. Because if you do it right, you feel a tingling sensation in your skull. And when you can also hear the difference really well. So I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent in how I resonate, because I can hear the difference. Yeah, it's very, at least I find it very difficult, because I don't know how to unlock the power reliably. So how I practice it is I put my fingers on the back of my head and I kind of tap while I sing. And I try to direct my voice to that spot on the back of my head. It sounds really weird, but it helps to visualize it. It's complicated. That's why singing takes years to master, and I'm only in it for like 2. And most people have classes for like 10 years before they consider themselves decent. So I have a lot to learn. basically, you have to imagine it like if you can resonate sound within your body, you can add more depth to it, and that depth will be audible to everyone else. Thank you, Zero Sanity. That was a very fast snipe. I was still trying to comprehend what I was reading. I still don't know. But yeah, I'm getting there slowly. It's kind of like humming, yeah, kinda. Your entire body starts tingling. It's not so much about a frequency. It's more about redirecting sound in a way that it starts to resonate within you. It's kind of complicated. I still don't quite get it, but I can hear the difference. So I'm aiming to have it there every time I open my mouth, basically. I'm a song, alright? I dig my hole, you build a wall. I don't have lyrics, so maybe that wall will fly against something. I'm just improvising the wall, adding brick and mortar to the wall, and now GameStop will claim us all. Luckily, they're already gone. The return of flying wall. We remember differently. Yeah, me too. I wonder what happened. I've played Bastion. I've played Transistor. Do they have other games? They also have the one Hades is also theirs, right? I feel like if the game has incredible music and a very pretty art style, it is probably Supergiant. I am so in love with the character of Red of Transistor. She's amazing. I have never played Pyre, but I've seen Hades being played quite a bit on Twitch. It's usually how I remember these things. Also, Lozen, welcome by the way. But I'm very bad with names, honestly. Very bad. My memory in general is not that hot. I'm surprised I'm able to learn Japanese at this point. Yeah, I recommend Transistor, it's very nice. They have all the songs also in humming versions. So when you play the game, you can often just hear it. Like that in the game. It's very pretty. They called you a monster for being too good? They just wanted you to take your time more. Savor the battle. Instead of just rushing your way through it. Perhaps. Usually games make fun of me for not being good at them. Not being too good. Game calls you mean. Oh. I mean, I would love to discuss the plotline of that game, but it's a bit of a spoiler. Welcome, Crackshot. Welcome. More sips for me. have actually something funny. Bubble wrap. I'm not sure how loud it is. I tested it, seemed okay. But I'm not sure how your little ears will find them. You want them louder? Because I'm very far from the microphone now. Not all of them have the satisfying crunch. I have given Hember some valerian, so he's chilling right now. He's chilling. I also gave him lots of food, so he went into a bit of a stoner coma. Hember does not provide ASMR. He only provides terror. For me. As much as I love the orange little guy, he is not appropriate for ASMR. He's a good boy. He is. He's very gentle, very kind. But he has his moments where he feels kind of ignored, either by me or by Aisha. And he starts doing things that annoy both of us. For me, he knows I hate it when he throws things off the counter or the table, or when he scratches something. And with Ice, he walks up to her kind of like a crab, sideways. And he starts to preemptively meow at her. And not like meow, but more like meow, meow, like that. Very high-pitched, very, very high-pitched. And then he starts pawing her. Like, kind of, you know how in cartoons, when kids fight, they like throw hands, right? While looking away. That is Gember. He does that until she reacts. And, well, let's just say Aisha, she can fight back. And when Gember does that, he gets beaten up. And it looks very sad, but he totally deserves it. He totally deserves it. Yeah. And when he gets slapped in the face, he learns his lesson for a grand total of like 2 minutes before he does it again. He is very orange, very dumb, but extremely lovable. And even though my furniture feels very sad. He's very lovable. Yeah, he is. It's a pure coincidence that I ended up with him, though. Because when I went to pick up my cats, like years ago, they had 3 orange cats. And they told me I could pick. And they all looked the same, really. But the difference was that 2 of them were sleeping. And Gembietje was harassing his mom. And I was advised, pick the lively one. So I did. Aisha always runs away. She's very skitterish. Very cute, very skitterish. She hides when the door rings. She hides when I have visitors. Even for my own family. It's always like that. I picked a troublemaker. Funnily enough, Aisha apparently also was a troublemaker. But she's the most docile thing ever. Never does anything. Just sits there and chills. She's like a retired lady. Since she was born, she acts retired. Just sits around, enjoys the sun. Yeah, watches TV. I often have the TV on and the cat just kind of sits in front of it with her eyes closed. It's so cute. It's a waste of energy, but it makes her so happy. I have a picture of her watching Dr. Disrespect. It just cracks me up every time I see it. Because I took it from behind, so it literally looks like she's watching TV. It's cute. And she's a gamer cat. Anyway, let's see. Let me do the body scrub again, because you guys liked it. Maybe I can do a pampering session first for my next stream of ASMR. Maybe you coming home after a long day type of thing. I kinda wanna be spoiled myself like that, but it's kinda hard to expect you guys to do that. So I'll do it instead. Chat rubbing my sore feet after work stream. That's gonna be a little hard to reenact, yeah. Oh, you don't know how sore my feet get from these stupid high heels. Bunions. Oh, I forgot what those are. Hello, Contamoy. I legit have annexed a locker at work that I keep my shoes in. So I can go to the office wearing sneakers and I can switch it at the office. And I'm not the only one. That's how bad it is to walk in that stuff. I can't. We have a dress code. And it kind of sucks. Especially since the people I work with are exempt. No one wants developers in suits. I am rummaging through my body scrub with a small piece of wood. Yeah, you're lucky, Cobalt. Though they are saying they want to ease up the dress code because no one wants to go to the office anymore. So maybe if you don't have to act like you are visiting the president, people might be more willing to go. Just a thought. Hello, Dizzy Cat, welcome. Free lunch. I wish they would do that too. Oh, we have the worst lunch at work. It's really bad. Everyone always goes elsewhere. Soon I'll just make my own lunches again. My own work lunch. Let's see, what do we have? Perhaps a song? Yeah. Let's see. What song can we do? This one is a little sad, but maybe. You read my mind, Megamok. You read my mind. If it takes forever, I will wait for you for 1,000 summers. I will wait for you till you're back beside me, till I'm holding you. Till I hear you sigh here in my arms. Anywhere you wander, anywhere you go, every day remember how I love you so. In your heart believe what in my heart I know, that forevermore I'll wait for you. That's a bit too sad, isn't it? It's nicer if it's just relaxing, not sad. let me dive into my. This is just nice and not sad files. Let's see. YouTube. I'll check my previous stuff. At least then I know I actually have the lyrics available for myself. Oh, I can always do hurt, but it's sad too. Welcome, Faye. Ah, Camber, you actually had the song in your head for a while. No, it's Connie Francis. I will wait for you. I always cry when I see that episode, even if I just see just that part on YouTube. It's just very sad. But I cry very easily when it comes to animals, like really easily. And also like old people. If they get like hurt, I also get extremely upset. I will not imagine sad cat, only happy, only happy. Exactly, only good. Only happy. Only happy. Alright. Next song will be Hurt by 9 Inch Nails, or the version I like the most is Johnny Cash. I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I know it's a sad song, but it's just very nice. I focus on the pain. The only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole. The old familiar stain. Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. If you could have it all, my empire of dirt, I will let you down. I will make you hurt. Despacito. Moriko, that's the only part of the song I know. Moriko, you've been taking me out of the mood. When are you dropping your cover, Moriko Kyoho? Anyway, thank you. You have a really nice voice. You just gotta believe. Gotta believe. What about maybe arigato? I don't have my censorship available unless I am allowed to change the lyrics. "18 cute shapes at Nina's house in the Netherlands. Big, soft, amazing plushies ready to be hugged. 18 cute shapes wanting to be touched. Shapes in the on the couch at Nina's house." Stop making me laugh. Excuse me, this is a very serious ASMR. Anyway, Pet Shy Redeem. Good boy. Good boy. Monica has seen every single inch of my couch, so she's an expert. She was face down on it for half the time. Well, it's not sus. She was just tired. Anyway, it's time to cleanse your ears, because you guys have been derailing a little bit. I will save the best or worst for last. Just close your eyes and relax. depends if it's something I can do, Faye, but sure, let me know. I'm always open for suggestions. I mean like a word trigger. Laku laku. Laku laku. Laku laku. Laku laku. Laku laku. There's a few words like that, right? Laku laku. Laku laku. Laku laku. I'm trying to think of any others. Words that just sound nice. Probably something that doesn't have an S in it, but maybe a T. I like when the T is pronounced very sharply, but the S is a bit of a difficult one. It's very sharp. Especially since I cannot filter it out afterwards. The S unfortunately kinda kills it. Oh my god, are you for real? Alright. ASMR tingles. Tingles. Kulu Limpa. These are the magical words that Tingle has created himself. Don't steal them. Or something along those lines. I think. I would let you use those words if you want to, but I'm not Tingle, so I don't own them. I don't have any magical words myself. Thankfully, maybe. Or I should get some. I think that's not the worst part, Moriko. I'm fairly sure the worst part about Tingle is that he kidnaps people that seem to resemble him a little bit, and he enslaves them, pretty much forces them to act like they are his brothers, and then he forces them to turn his Tingle Tower day and night, for nothing but food, drinks, so they don't perish. That's it. That's Tingle's lore. It's dreadful. What's the Rupee King? Oh, I haven't played Tingle's Tingly Rosy Rupee, whatever the heck it is called. I only play Wind Waker. Also, nerd alert. Getting paid in food and beer was not that uncommon, it's true. I would have worked for that. Maybe some shelter and stuff. No. Just give me a maid outfit and I'm good to go. But with my luck, I would just get kidnapped. There's a Viking splendor. Is the maid outfit necessary? Of course. I don't want to be an indentured servant without some cosplay. How else am I supposed to feel the role? I'm hired, thank you. Also, Thorax, I haven't thanked you yet for subscribing. Thank you so much, Thorax. Mwah. Mwah. Yeah, I mean, I can appreciate appreciate some good lore. Trust me. I personally do not subscribe to Nintendo's fuck it philosophy of lore. I like games that try a little bit. Although, to be honest, I often don't read it. I like to skip the lore while I'm playing and read about it afterwards. Am I the only one who does that? I'm not sure. Also, welcome Consimo, thank you for the follow. I feel like reading too much gets in the way of the game. Wait, Liam British guy videos? What does that mean? Yahtzee. I agree with you, King Floppy. If it's easily accessible and not too much, then yeah. You don't skip voice lines? I always skip them. They take too long. I kinda appreciate the games that don't have voice acting. Also, it makes me allowed to do my own voices. And everyone will become Meatwad. Hamtaro. Hamtaro. Als we samenwerken zijn we sterker. Beste vriend. En we eten graag een hapje. Das verdient. Kijk uit, wij zijn de probleembrigade. Hamtaro. Kleine hamsters, grote avonturen. I was told before that Dutch might work for ASMR, but als jullie dat graag willen, dan kan ik dat altijd proberen natuurlijk. Maar als je het mij vraagt, is het misschien wat te heftig voor de gemiddelde kijker. Tenzij jullie dit wel oké vinden. Ja, zal ik gewoon doorgaan? Ja, oké. Dan doe ik dat gewoon. Ik heb geen idee waar ik het over ga hebben, maar er zijn toch slechts 4 mensen die überhaupt weten wat ik nu aan het doen ben. Krijg je, hoe noem je dat in het Nederlands? Tintelingen. in je hersenen, in je hoofdje. Als het langer dan 4 uur duurt, dan moet je wel even de huisarts bellen. Het schijnt niet zo goed voor je te zijn. Tenminste, dat heb ik ooit gehoord. Maar ik ben zeker geen expert. Ik ben een magisch meisje op het internet. En wij staan er niet echt onbekend dat we heel intelligent zijn. Af en toe, Moriko, dan kan ik ook wat dingetjes over jou zeggen waar je geen weet van hebt. Zoals nu. En ik kan gewoon lekker over jou praten. zonder dat je weet wat ik ermee bedoel. Ik kan bijvoorbeeld zeggen dat je ontzettend schattig bent, ontzettend lief, ontzettend alles. En je kunt niks terug zeggen. En dat maakt het alleen maar beter. Welkom, Willox. Welkom bij deze stream. Of deze stroom, als we het helemaal Nederlands gaan maken. Alles wordt nu Nederlands. Knipoog. Voor Trixa. Een knipoog. Voor Trixa. Het klinkt toch afgrijzelijk. Ja, stroom. Ik heb ooit van Kitania gehoord dat haar vader, als hij het over haar streams had, dat hij het altijd een stroom noemde. Als een soort letterlijke vertaling. Ja, knipoog is dat is een knipoog. Ik weet niet waarom het knipoog heet, maar ik bedoel, als je oog eruit knipt, heb je denk ik een groot probleem, maar geen idee. Knipperlicht. Oh ja, dat is ook waar. Maar waarom is het dan geen knipperoog? Interessant onderwerp. Oh god, is dat van Moriko? Is dat van Sailor Moon? Oh. Zeg het over voor je hebt de macht. Houd de maas en van zijn voeten. Ik haat jou zo erg. Ik krijg flashbacks. Het is nog waar ook. Verdorie. Ik mag niet vloeken natuurlijk. Verdorie. Oh ja, hebben we nog leuke schuttingtaal in het Nederlands? Groetjes. Grote groetjes. Pot voor 3 dubbeltjes. Jeetje. Deksels. Oh, dat is een goeie. Deksels. Ik heb er hier ook eentje. Deksels. Zijn jullie al genezen van het Nederlands? Are you cured yet? Do you want me to go back to English? Or not? I don't know what to say. That's the worst part. Every time I switch to Dutch, I just don't know what to say anymore. It feels so wrong. It feels so wrong and not right. No, English sounds weird. Vielleicht ist Deutsch besser. Haben Sie etwas? I don't know how to finish that phrase. Do you have something I can tell? God, I don't know. My grammar. A local festival. Are you trying to figure out where I live, Mr. Lizard? Very clever. German. I like German. sounds kinda cute. Really slow Dutch. Oké. Als ik heel langzaam praat, dan kun je misschien volgen waar ik het over heb. Maar ik acht de kans nogal klein. Tenzij ik woorden gebruik die een beetje lijken op een andere taal. Understand nothing and just enjoy sounds. Yeah, it's like Sam's language, except real. Yeah, every time I see German, I always imagine that meme about the pigeon being Dutch and the, what is it? Some kind of eagle is German and they kind of talk, they yell at each other. Wenn du Deutsch sprichst, erinnere ich mich, wie wenig ich es sprechen kann. Ah, ich auch. I can read it, but I cannot speak it for whatever. It was not a children's rhyme. I said that if I speak slowly, you might know what I say based on the fact that it sounds like a different language. I'm fairly sure you can turn German into something nice. Deutsch ist der coolere große Bruder vom Niederländischen. That's true. Except the cool part. But I think we all kind of do view you as our brother. It's kind of like how I saw my own older brothers, right? You just wanna annoy them. That's the role. Go to prom. If I go to prom at my age, I think I will get the cops called on me. I don't think I belong there anymore. That's just funny, a little bit. I have to agree. I find it a very unaesthetic, a non-aesthetic language, but I guess it works for ASMR because you cannot focus on what I'm saying, just the sounds. It's like Simlish, except easier. No one will notice. Nah, not if they just have a height requirement. Yeah, that's the first thing I taught Moriko as well. Or as she calls it, Noiken in de Koiken. It's the first thing you teach. Just stay away from the G sounds, yeah, kinda. I think so. I like Japanese ASMR for that reason. I don't know what they're saying. Although I'm picking up slowly more. You wanna see more of me, yeah? Alright, well, give me a moment. This is me, but since I'm so close to your ears, I was zoomed in a little bit. Yeah, Zoom ASMR, I do have to get small somehow. Let's see. I need to get my windows back. There they are. Welcome, Skyline. Welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you, I'm glad you like me. Although, in a few months, I'm changing a little bit. I'm getting a little shorter. And a little different elsewhere too. I want to fight off pigeons. I don't want to fight them. They're cute. But why? It'll be explained. It's part of my lore. My caterpillar, Kimishi. No, I'm a magical girl. More accurate to real life. I'm very short, yes. It's always very funny for me to see how long my legs get, like in the 2D realm. Cause I'm not that tall. Mm. My lord. It's still getting fixed. There are some minor problems with it still. But if I don't end up with it fixed in time for the next one, I'll just have it as a redeem. It's not going away. It'll be like classic. It'll be there, just occasionally. Mm. And I also want to kind of keep things a bit more consistent, so you don't have whiplash every time. Mm. I do seem like a shapeshifter, but it's just magic. Magical girl powers. Some of us put on frilly little outfits, and I just put my attention elsewhere. Welcome, sweaty boy. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let's see. I have a shy per diem. Good boy. Very cute. It's very, very cute. Let's see. Were there any triggers in particular, guys, that you really liked? Is there something you really want me to do again? It is both, Contimore. It's a candle and rain. This is the candle, as you can hear. It smells so good. Alright. The hand cupping. Alright. Gotcha, gotcha. That's what it's called, yeah. There we go. can alternate the pop rocks and the ear cupping if you guys like. I'll have to get the lollipop back in action. The pop rock is in my mouth. I can't cover it. A very slow carrot. Oh, that one was very loud. Right, last one. Good night, Sikri. Oh, angel frame. I've been invited for dinner. Oh, that's kind of cute. That's very cute. You can always say that I had an unfortunate accident with a truck. It would not be far from the truth. If you want to get out of it. Otherwise, you can always introduce her to VTubers. Yeah. Angel Frame, you can't say it's over. That puts you on the FBI watch list. Apparently. I was reading that list and I was like, I've said half of this as a joke before, I'm totally on a list somewhere. Very, very confused list, let me tell you. I think Base was on it, yeah. And Chad and Stacy. Um, no, it's okay. I've been promoting America very much in my streams. So I think I'm still good. I think I'm still good. Yeah, I mean, my mom hates America. It's so funny. It's not exclusively used. Yeah, it's kind of, it does beat the point. Maybe they're looking for like if we see many of these overlap. But still, it looks like a joke. I don't think it's real. It cannot be real. But yeah, my mom, she hates the USA. Because she always thinks that everyone always solves problems with guns. Which makes me laugh because the last time she brought that up, my dad just replied like from the other side of the house. I think it was in the toilet. He just said, "Oh yeah, what about it?" I just couldn't help but laugh. It's just it's so funny just how different they are. I think my dad watched too much media. He's like me. Oh, he didn't say base. No, he doesn't know that lingo. He doesn't know that kind of lingo, but he would not look out of place besides his terrible English. He doesn't really speak English. Other than that, I think he would fit in really well. Maybe if I buy him an English course or something, there's hope for the honorary Texan. But yeah, in a way, my mom goes with him. I don't know how to sell it to her. I don't know how that would work. What is that supposed to mean, lizards? Speaking of vampires, I still have to play the Masquerade game. It's still on my wish list somewhere. I've never played Bloodlines now. I've seen a certain Seth review about Vampire the Masquerade, but the seat of cats. Wait, you got rid of it? What does reconsecrated mean? You do know you're saying things too, right? Just a warning. Bloodlines is good as old. Ah, I see. Dedicated to a different one. different than Catholic. I don't approve. I should bonk you for such heresy, honestly. Truthfully. It's buggy. Oh, what game is not buggy? Let's be real. No, I'm not having another round of Inquisitions, as much as that sounds cool. They had banger outfits though. Let's see. I don't wanna read about getting rid of my religion. I will come to your house and cover your ears against this drivel. All your eyes and ears should be on me right now. All your eyes and ears should be here with me right now. If you have 5, of course. It was a joke, don't worry about it. I'm fairly sure I've made the Pope do weird things in, what game was it even? I kind of forgot, but there's at least one RTS where you can just change everything like that. Like you can control things. Fairly sure I did some wacky things for fun. I don't think it was Crusader Kings. But I'm fairly sure I once had a religion called Pokemon in Civ that I tried to rule the world with, so... and people were forcibly converted from being Catholic to Pokemon, so just saying. You will pray for good natures, good IVs, good EVs, and opponents who only use tackle. Maybe it's time for another song. Oh yeah, I think America and Japan are currently winning the culture war. Definitely America's done some good jobs there. I honestly think if I were to move to the States, I don't think I would have a lot of trouble fitting in. It's just my accent is obviously not American. But other than that, I'm familiar enough with a lot of stuff. I can learn. Well, K-pop is, yeah, it's doing pretty good. It's kind of cool how slowly everyone's discovering cool things about each other and embracing that and not seeing it as some kind of negative that is being shared, but rather something positive that makes people appreciate each other more. I honestly think that's the only way that we can eventually all be happy together. I have to drive everywhere. Okay, I'm not ready. I am not ready for that. Pennsylvania, Dutch, or German, they don't count. And my accent will slowly decay until it's gone. I used to be stronger. When I started streaming, I sounded a lot more Dutch than I do now. Kinda helps if you talk a lot, I guess. At work, I only talk during like meetings and such. It's not enough to really be mindful of how you sound. Right now, I'm trying not to sound too, brutish. I think in English, but I don't remember when it changed. Must have been a while ago. It's just easier also for me to express myself in English, even if I don't know the words all the time. Definitely, it just feels easier. No, I don't remember switching. It just happened and I never realized. So it must have been gradual then. Just never noticed really. Just switched. Well, it's nice, thank you. I'm slowly learning that it's okay to sound a little bit in between. Because I don't sound quite Dutch unless I say specific things and don't quite sound American. Yeah. Wish I did. I wish I did. We all envy what we don't have. The grass is greener, or the accent is better elsewhere. Let's see. Welcome's Villian, by the way. The accent even is greener. Nah, people used to be really raving about the British accent, but everyone I know is trying to sound American. No one wants to sound British. Only school. Only the tea-aboos that teach at high school want you to do that. Everyone else just, yeah. My streams will stop being at reasonable hours. Well, there's one fix for that, Jay. It's called me continuing going into a degenerate time zone, like schedule, and I'll just wake up at 2 a.m. and stream. If I solve the problem. That is, by the way, it is something I'm a little concerned about. When I stream from Japan, is I'm not sure when to stream. Because if I would do it at like 8 p.m. in Japan, it would be like what, like noon in Europe, and like 3 a.m. for burgers. Oh, I guess I'll have to stream at 2 a.m. That's the only way to fix that. It's the only way to fix it. I'm going back, yeah, in about how many weeks? Like a month. I will have to figure that one out. But most likely I'll just stream around 10 p.m. and go to sleep right after. And then wake up at like 10 a.m. And then once I get home, I'll just well, embrace being free for a little bit, of course. And that's gonna be hard. I'll probably struggle for a little bit, finding a nice groove, a rhythm, knowing when to do what. I'm only going for 2 weeks, so not too long. I kind of lucked out that when I was looking at tickets and such, it was still really cheap. So I kind of sniped it. Things are much more expensive now again, so I kind of got lucky. That's why I'm excited and scared, mostly scared, but excited. I'll just have to take things a step at a time. But anyway, let's do a little bit of song. Good night, cat. Good night, blue cat. Let's do a little trip hop. Please, could you stay a while to share my grief? For it's such a lonely day to have to always feel this way. And the time that I will suffer less is when I never have to wake. A wandering stars, for whom it is reserved, the blackness of darkness forever. Wandering stars, for whom it is reserved, the blackness of darkness forever. Those who have seen the needless signs now thread like a husk from which all that now has fled, and the mask that the monsters wear to feed upon their prey. Wandering stars, for whom it is reserved, the blackness of darkness forever. Wandering stars, for whom it is reserved, the blackness of darkness forever. I'm not sure if that effect works out. Hello, Smoke. Welcome, Crazy Dragon. A low pass filter in like a nice way. I'm just experimenting a little bit. It's kind of good. An old radio, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Let's see, is there something I haven't done yet? Maybe I can do space again. Waka waka. Waka waka. Waka waka. Waka waka. kinda sounds like wakker in Dutch, which means awake. Wakker. Wakker. Let's do a little bit of spraying. Maybe I should clean your ears a little bit. Let's see. Tell me if it's too rough. No, but they have to be squeaky clean for what I'm about to do. Wait, what I'm about to do at the end of the stream. It's good. Alright, thank you for telling me. Shiroya, welcome. There we go. All nice and clean. You want to know what I'll do? We have to have some patience. Let's see. I can always read something. Let's see. This is not a relaxing story. I was thinking I can read something spooky, but this one relies on a jump scare. Let me see. Alright. I'll pick a different one. A car broke down late at night, way out in the country. The driver remembered passing an empty house a few minutes earlier. I'll stay here, he thought. At least I'll get some sleep. He found some wood in the corner of the living room and made a fire in the fireplace. He covered himself with his coat and slept. Toward morning, the fire went out and the cold awakened him. It'll be light soon, he thought. Then I'll go for help. So he closed his eyes again. But before he could doze off, there was a terrible crash. Something big and heavy had fallen out of the chimney, and it lay on the floor for a minute. Then it stood up and stared down at him. The man took one look and started running. He had never seen anything so horrible in his life. He paused just long enough to jump through a window. Very relaxing. Then he ran and ran and ran and ran until he thought his lungs would burst. Sorry. As he stood in the road, panting, trying to catch his breath, he felt something tap on his shoulder. He turned and found himself staring into two big, bloody eyes inside of a grinning skull. It was a horrible thing. "Pardon me," it said. "Is something wrong?" I just made him British. Did I make it less spooky now? You also thought it was British. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, I got these books called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. But most of them are funny. There's one where the whole clue of the story is that it's about puberty. And that one made me kind of confused. I think that's the same story voice. Let's crunch up some face masks. I forgot about these. Take care, Galderis. I also have to go to bed soon. I guess I can feel my voice starting to strain. As much of fun as I'm having, it's kind of the side effect of ASMR. But before I do so, there's one thing I wanted to still do. A little sneak preview, perhaps, of the thing. If you want me to. Let's make a poll. Alright. Please let me know how you feel about it. It's a very one-sided poll right now. Just 2 brave souls that say no, 3 brave souls. What is thing? It's ear licking. I made you guys wait so long for it. I might as well do a sneak preview. That's what it's about. I'll let you guys decide among yourself. Welcome, Vader Spread. Welcome. Also, welcome to Ice Cream and Brasa and Konaxi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Poll is running out. It's still time to vote no. There's still time. There's still time to vote no. You ready? Alright, well, it seems I will have to go on with it. If 89% of you say yes, this will not go as expected. Well, it will probably sound a little different since the settings are a little different. But I'll see if I can recreate a little bit. For the better or worse. I will never do this on stream ever again. This is it. This is it. But yeah. Are you ready? Are you? Alright. Let me get a better angle here. Alright, I'm going in. How terrible is that? Are you deaf yet, or should I keep going? Let me fix this. Alright. How bad does it taste? I have cleaned it before, you know. Anyway, video will be there this year, TM. But yeah, it's kind of weird, right? Nice 8-month window. Yeah. I'm gonna see who we can raid, and then I'm gonna sleep. And I hope you guys will too, after getting a little bit of relaxation, hopefully. I hope so. I like these streams. They're just really hard for me and my voice. Alright, let's see who we can raid. Leon, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Mwah. Mwah. Appreciate it very much. Oh yeah, this was the last stream of this week. Besides the movie watch along tomorrow. If you want to join me for the final Resident Evil, then I welcome you on Discord. Let's see who we can raid. Who is on? Tom's is playing Scooby-Doo, oh my god. That is kind of fitting. Oh, Shando's on. Alright. She's a really good ASMR artist. If you like ASMR, then I really, 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 really encourage you to check out Shondo's YouTube. And every time she does like a stream for ASMR, she is probably the greatest of all. But today she's creating a lot of babies. Ooh, Dorix, thank you so much for gifting. Thank you. Thank you, Dorix. Thank you so much. One for every. Alright, let's go right. Fallen Shadow. It's very cute. Thank you everyone so much for hanging out with me. I hope you had a good time, that it wasn't scuff or hard to listen to. And always feel free to let me know how you found it. Thank you so much, and have a good night. Mwah. Mwah. I would love to tuck you in, but I'll have to just pretend. Good night, everyone. Take good care of yourself, and maybe I'll see you tomorrow. I hope so. We'll be on Discord. Thank you so much. Good night, good night. Bye bye, bye bye. Mwah.